part of the way things are?
It's still here. As I said, in spring training, we're still in the midst of a pandemic, and people need to still take this seriously. I mean, they really do. And unfortunately, it hit us, and we got to take care of our own now. And but Ben, all I can say is be safe. Continue to wear your mask like they ask, and know that this still can happen to anyone. So. It's like it's tough for us right now, but we're going to get through it.
Thank you.
Brittany Drolli, The Athletic.
This question is for Mike. Mike, when you look at the city protocols, I don't know if DC comes into factor here, but are there any plans for the players that want to get vaccinated?
Well, we would like to, we're pursuing all the avenues to get players vaccinated if they choose to do so. Although you also have to be cognizant of, not taking vaccines from a person who may need it more than the players do. So it's a fine line, but we are looking for a way to vaccinate our ball club. We want to do it in the right way, at the right time. As to not take it away from anyone that needs it more than the players.
Is that something that DC's rules comes into play, because some teams have made stops and gotten like a mass vaccination? Is that something you have to work with specifically with DC?
Well, certainly, DC, we work with DC on a myriad of these health issues and protocols, and that is one of them that we're in communication with them.
And then I know it's probably far down the list for Davey too, but if you don't play Saturday, if you don't play until Sunday, how much does that affect a guy like Max Scherzer and all of the pitching plans moving forward? I mean, I'm assuming the Nats Park is closed and shut down for now, or?
Yeah, Nats Park is shut down for everything, but we do have our testing. Players come in small groups, they get tested, and then they leave. So that's all it's been open for the last 2 days. And depending on the results of the latest batch of tests will determine where we go from there. Be it, can we open up in shifts and have a workout if we don't play, or if we are going to play, those will be dictated by the results of the test and by MLB.
Thank you.
Mark Zuckerman, MassonSports.com.
This kind of ties in with that. So I guess, Mike, for you, is everyone on the team under quarantine right now, or are some players not subject to that at this point?
No, just the players that are under the protocol are under the quarantine within the protocol, but we've more or less self-quarantined the rest of the team. So everyone is under I guess Mike Rizzo mandated quarantine until we get this thing figured out.
Gotcha. And I don't know if this is for you or maybe for Davey. Given that until you are allowed to do something at a ballpark, what do the players do baseball wise? What do you try to have them do? What can they do to sort of stay sharp between now and then?
Well, again, that I think that once we're allowed to go back in the ballpark, depending on what the daily tests show, hopefully it'll be a short stint of being away from baseball activities, and we can return to them very, very soon.
David, do you have anything that you've told them, like, hey, if you can play catch in your backyard or anything like that to stay sharp?
Yeah, absolutely. If they got a yard or a basement or something, just do what they can just to stay loose, stay in shape. Right now, like I said, we're in sort of a self quarantine, to make sure that everybody's going to be okay. But with that being said, these guys they got to move around. They got to do something. So we got to keep them as loose as we possibly can.
Jessica Camerato, Nationals.com.
Along the lines with getting ready to play, when you guys are looking at the roster, how are you addressing filling those vacancies? Like, are you trying to, as information comes in, address them, or you just want a bigger picture, wait as a whole to address and finalize everything?
Well, I think, Jessica, I think we're just trying to get through these first couple of days of these intense testing days and see what our current roster looks like. And then we'll certainly make several roster changes. Fortunately, the MLB planned for this thing by having your alternative sites right down the road for us, and we've got the players that we're going to utilize to fill the roster. When we find out exactly who is not going to be available and for how long.
Thank you.
Matt Ryridge, NBC Sports Washington.
Hi, Mike. Just to be clear, is there any baseball being played in Fredericksburg, or is everybody over there quarantining as well?
No, everyone there tested negative, and they will begin their baseball activities.
Gotcha. And you said that you didn't believe any players broke COVID protocols. Is it known how the original player contracted the virus, and are there any plans to prevent that particular avenue from not happening again?
No, it's unclear how the player
Thank you.
contacted it. I'm sorry.
Ken Davidoff.
Hi, Mike. Just one point of clarification. You said the ballpark was closed. That was to you guys? We were under the impression that the Mets did work out at the ballpark.
Yes, the Mets did work out. We did not have a workout yesterday or today. We were just in there for our COVID testing.
Right, but and the Mets are able to use the facilities.
The Mets are able to use it, and I believe they did use it.
Thank you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Stu Rushfield, NPR.
Hi there, Mike. I'm just wondering a couple of things. Can you talk about what the quarantine timeline will be for players who have tested positive? And also, I'm just wondering, are there any thoughts about maybe not having fans come back to the ballpark this weekend, even if you are able to play?
The quarantine protocol for the persons who tested positive must quarantine for 10 days. The close contacts have to quarantine for at least 7 days per MLB protocol. And I do not believe that there's been any discussion about not allowing the fans in the ballpark this weekend.
Heather McDonough, NBC4.
Hey, Mike. Yesterday, you were pretty sure that the ball game would be played. Was it just what did MLB tell you as to the reasoning? Was it just these additional positives, or the waiting, or the abundance of caution? What was their message to you?
I think all of the above, Heather. Yeah, it's the additional positives and the tracing, and just out of an abundance of caution, we felt that it was in the best interest with the day off on Friday to give us a break for 2 days and see where the additional days of testing come in.
And I don't know if this is an opinion or a fact that I'm asking you for, but I guess it's opinion, but do you feel that because it was the first week and the alternate site wasn't quite set up, and because it was so early in the season, that the abundance of caution was extra cautious?
I don't think so. I think that there's precedent from last year. I think they used a lot of that thought process. So I don't believe, in my opinion, that it was overly cautious. No, I think this virus is a deadly virus, and we're trying to do everything we can to protect our players and their families, and our staff and the fans and the citizens of the DMV. And I think that to err on the side of caution is the right thing to do.
All right, we got time for two more. We'll go to Kellen Song, Washington City Paper.
Hey, Mike, just one more clarification. Because two more players, like you said, tested positive, does that mean there are more players deemed close contacts?
Well, we're doing the contact tracing as we speak, and when we come up with that with the results of that, those players that are deemed contact traced will be put in quarantine. But we don't know yet. We don't know. We're in the midst of doing the tracing right now.
And you said that would probably be completed tomorrow?
No, the tracing is being done right now. So it depends on how long it takes. It's an in-depth process. But when we get that process done, we'll take steps to quarantine those that need to be quarantined.
Thank you.
And Andy Costco, Washington Times.
Hey, Mike, wanted to clarify the quarantine length. I think you mentioned 7 days for close contacts with MLB. I think DC Health says at least 10 days. Do you have to follow DC or can you go with the MLB?
Well, we're in concert with both MLB and DC. We did the same thing last year, and we have an open communication, and it's really on a case by case basis. But it could be anywhere from 7 to 10 days, like I mentioned yesterday, depending on the circumstances of that individual player.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Davey. Talk soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, bye, guys.
Thanks.